Welcome back, everybody. Luis Bedoya, Charles Rutenberg Realty, licensed agent in the Pinellas County, Tampa Bay area, walking the holiday sites and showing you how beautifully we decorate our areas. This is the Largo Central Park, and I'm gonna be walking around and talking a little bit more about our experiences with short-term rentals, giving you a few more examples of the properties that we have set up and how they worked. Pitfalls, do's and don'ts. I think that I really like to have the opportunity to help everybody who's thinking about setting up a rental property in the Pinellas County. So let's make sure that you stick around. Also, like, subscribe, and if you have questions, make sure you reach out. I like to make friends. I like to talk. I like to stay connected. Whether you do business with me or not, make sure that you reach out if you have any questions. I'm also a source of a lot of connections and see, professionals that you will need for your rental properties, from handyman to insurance companies to cleaning crews to management companies. And again, I would love to tell you really how it works and what it is that we're doing down here. So let me go ahead and flip the camera and make sure that you guys can hear me. All right. So a lot of families come out here. A lot of families come out here, folks. I'm gonna walk a little bit deeper into the park before I can start talking so you can hear me very clearly. But look how nicely decorated this side of the park is. I'm gonna make sure that you can see everything okay. All right. Well, thankfully, I don't look like the only crazy man walking around with a camera here. But all right, let's talk a little bit about the do's and don'ts. And one of the first things that come to my mind, obviously, is the amenity situation that we have going on right now in the county. A lot of our Airbnbs have had to have a lot of updates when it comes to our gear. Clients who ask me, Louis, do I need to remodel that kitchen? Do I need to change that bathroom? Do I need to do this? Look, when people are staying at a place for a week or two, they really don't care about those features. They don't care that, and this is my personal opinion, I might be wrong, but this is based on factual and actual purchases that we've had. We've had plenty of houses that we bought that were very well located. They had the utmost, beautiful finishes, incredible kitchen. I actually had two houses that were completely redone. Everything was 2022, 2021. Everything was beautiful. But right now, when it comes to short-term rental space and even mid-term rental, people are more focused on what can I do at your house? Do I have enough TV screens? Do I have a heated pool? Do I have a spa and jacuzzi? Do I have a heating element? Do I have a space heater? Do I have a pergola? Do I have outdoor televisions? Do I have all these things that you would normally not necessarily think of when you're buying a house and setting it up as a long-term rental, right? Long-term, you don't need a manager. You don't need to have a cleaning crew. You don't have to, you don't pay the utilities. All these things are being managed and taken care of by your tenant, right? Now, with a long-term tenant, you can't just call the cops and escort him out of the house. You actually have to go through a legal process of eviction, and as well as you won't be having a professional manager go into your property, once or twice a month or 4 or 5 times a month. So if something breaks, it's easier for a manager to let you know and address it right away than sometimes the long-term tenants won't address it or just not notify you on time and allow the damages to become even worse. So that is one of the reasons why we like to stick to midterm and short-term. Remember, we're in a vacation spot. So a lot of the people that come here, they like to come here for a reason. They like to come here on vacation. All right, we're back on track. Sorry, folks, we had a little issue with our stabilizer, but we're good now. We're back on track. So a lot of our folks, they don't realize, or maybe that's the reason why you're actually checking out this video. This is a vacational spot. We have the Clearwater Beach, Indian Rocks Beach, Madeira Beach, St. Pete Beach right down the street from us. accessible from Seminole, Largo, and Clearwater areas. So there's no reason for us to stick or necessarily settle for a long-term rental in this unit unless you have regulations that will prohibit you from actually being able to do that with your property, which is one of the reasons why we recommend that you work with a professional like me so we can advise and guide you on which areas of the city will be the most adequate for you to set up your home and investments. So that's a big point, guys. If you look at the Pinellas County in a map, we have a very small piece of land. We're about 16 miles wide and 25 miles from north to south. So it's not really that much of a big area. And we have water on our south, east, and west sides of our county. So what that means is it's all blending together. Some areas of Seminole, houses are worth $300,000 to $400,000, and the neighborhoods, even though they're safe, they might not be as luxurious or good looking on the outside. They might not be as manicured. And then you cross the street or you go down the street, maybe you cross 2 blocks, and you're gonna find that they have $2 million properties just sitting by the water, by rivers, by lakes, by canals, by parks. So it's a mixture of everything. The same with Largo, you know, you have areas where they call them, and just so you know, this is what they call it, Larghetto. So you have Larghetto areas, and then you have areas like, you know, you cross the street in the house, the cheapest home is $1 million. That is a very important thing that you must know about our county. So everything is mixing together due to the small amount of space, but that allows for a high appreciation, folks. If anybody wants to live by the Clearwater Beach area and you want to be close to it, there's only a few options, you know, and that drives up the price of your property. So that's one of the reasons why we like to invest in Pinellas County. Some of my clients might ask me, Louis, I'm going to put a house in Anna Maria Island. I'm going to put a house in, you know, Zephyr Hills. Look, we always want to look at numbers and make sure you're not passing up on a great opportunity. But when it comes to setting up investments, I like to be within 30 minutes of an international airport, and I like to be within 15 to 20 minutes of an international amenity. That way, I can guarantee both appreciation and cash flow on your investment, okay? So again, if you are considering a property, hopefully you catch this video before you make a purchase, before you sign a contract. That way you can reach out and ask and get my opinion. Trust me, my intention and goal is always to watch after your financial interest, make sure that you're covered. Just to give you an example, I had a client call me. They just recently bought a house in St. Petersburg without me, and you know, they don't realize they had to get an insurance policy for that house. That's one of the things that I would have addressed if you were to be working with me. Want to make sure that you're always covered in every angle. Again, make sure you like and subscribe. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them below. I hope you're enjoying the view of the Largo Park. It's a beautiful community. Let me actually walk into this area so we can show you a little bit more what the park looks like. Isn't this beautiful? Let me do a quick take here and just zoom in so you can see a little bit more detail. People like to take photos at that booth. Okay. And that is East Bay. That's the East Bay Road. You can see some of the cars passing by. Okay. And then we have the Ferris wheel back there. Very, very nice. Again, it's a cool place to bring your family at during the Christmas season. You can walk your dog as well. They have different sorts of vendors out here. It's already 9:30, so they're all closing out, and it's also colder at night. It's 55 degrees. It goes all the way down to 45 sometimes, 50 degrees. It gets a little chillier. But the weather lately has been kind of crazy. We've been doing 75 degrees, 65 degrees. It's just been really weird. All right, so what else can we talk about? We've actually covered a lot right now. We talked about having the right amenities over remodels and upgrades in your house, which is not necessarily something that we always think of when it comes to real estate. Real estate, we will think, you know, immediately we need to upgrade things. If you're not gonna have good amenities, especially in your backyard, I don't recommend you start that way, right? Regulations, going short-term versus mid-term versus long-term, those are also good points that we just talked about. Why We like to go midterm. Why we like to go short term? What areas do we use? We use Largo. We use unincorporated cities like unincorporated Seminole, unincorporated Clearwater. There are Airbnbs in unincorporated St. Pete and Pinellas Park. They can be profitable as long as you are top dog in that market, as long as you're able to beat that competition. Just to give you an example, one of our units was set up in the Pinellas Park area, 25, 30 minutes away from the beach. But our client went ahead and invested most of the money was put into the amenities that go outside of the house, that go in the outdoors area. And what that did is, we're talking about double pergola, talking about a ping pong table, pool table, dining table, outdoor kitchen, heated pool, enclosure, putting green. You can actually play golf back there. All these things, movie room with like at least 8 movie chairs that recline. I mean, the whole 9 yards. That property is breaking 140,000, 125,000 a year easily. I've seen properties make $190,000 in a single year. These are special homes. If you really want to break the marks in Pinellas County, one way to do that is by going big, So that takes me to another example of one of our properties. We actually set up a Seminole Airbnb. It's probably one of the biggest Airbnbs that we have in the county. The property cost $1.7 million and it's currently being used as a wedding venue. Owners are pulling out at least on a slow month, $15,000. Regular months, $20,000 to $25,000, and there's possibilities of making up to $50,000 in a single month. A single wedding will cost you $15,000 for a weekend. So you start to understand the potential. You can have up to 23 people stay at this house. It's a 3-acre, 4-acre lot. You have multiple. It's a 5,000 square foot home. So everything about this home is big. Everything about this home is enough for us to be able to do that, right? The house has a piano that you can play. It has, all the furnitures, all the amenities, all the things, the virtual reality set, all the smart things, all the gaming consoles, a studio, a music studio, all this stuff has been added by the homeowner, as well as, the outdoor space has been prepared to be a beautiful wedding venue. And they still have a lot more to do with this property. So again, just take a look at the amenities that we have here in the Largo Park. I don't want to look too crazy here staring at the phone and making people wonder why I'm walking around like this. But yeah, folks, $1.7 million property, making up to $20,000 to $30,000 a month. And the good months can go up, can go lower in the slower months. And that takes me to the next topic. The next point is, there's nothing wrong with you switching back and forth between long-term to short-term. Absolutely no. If you have a short-term property, short-term rental, October, November, August, those are slower months. And it's not a bad idea for you to advertise your property as a long-term rental, as a mid-term rental during those months. If you want to stop that property on Zillow, just let me know. I'll put it on the MLS market for you as well. That way people can book your house. Even if they book your house for $5,000 during the slower month, you might still come out even or just do a little bit more money than normally you would as a short-term rental in a month like October. In 2023, we had a pretty slow month of October. The economy has been kind of, holding tight. There's been a lot of things. War started in the Middle East and, has changed the outlook of our market, has changed the outlook of our traveling, what we're used to in terms of travelers. But at the end of the day, we still have thousands and thousands upon thousands of people coming to Florida just to enjoy the weather. If you didn't know, about 50% of the people that are moving anywhere in the United States move to Florida, right? And the cities that are actually taking these folks are Miami, Tampa Bay, Orlando, these bigger cities. But Tampa Bay is one of the top areas for people to relocate to. The reason why is because it's just very easy going. We have all the amenities that you have in a city like Miami. You can also go to Tampa and find high-end dining restaurants, high-end shops and things like that. But living in the Clearwater area, Indian Rock, Seminole area, it's like no other. It's extremely peaceful. And we like to keep it that way. And so do the homeowners here. So when you set up your Airbnb, make sure that you have the right regulations, that you have a manager, that you talk to a good manager or two before you start your process. That way you don't screw up and make all your neighbors mad before you've even started cash flowing a property. That's also something very important. I like to make sure sometimes I've gone and looked at houses where I see, okay, you know, the neighbors might not be so friendly in this scenario, or you know, maybe it's a very tight spot of the community where, you know, you will stick out as an Airbnb. Then that might be a place where we try to stay away. But some opportunities are too hard to pass on, folks. So when we end up setting up that property in an area that is not so favorable, we would like to go ahead and match up the efforts of the setup in order to maximize privacy and minimize the amount of complaints that we're going to get from our neighbors. So what that means is we might install mature vegetation against the fence in order to cover up a part of the house. That's one of the things that we'll do. We'll install mature vegetation against the wall that faces, the fence that faces our neighbors, so that they can't see in, they can hear much about what's going on. If you have sitting areas, you have areas where a lot of people are hanging out, so you might want to move those to a portion of the house where, you know, the neighbors are not going to hear them as much. Trust me, these little details make a huge difference. These little details really, really help and can make an impact in your business. So I'm about to go ahead and walk back here. I just did the one round. Let me just show you again what's going on. This is, what is it? It's almost 10 o'clock right now. And we still have kids. This is December 28th. Mommy! Look how nice. Look how beautiful, folks. It's a beautiful experience. I really like this area of Largo. I like to come out here at least twice, 3 times during the holiday season. And then I like to go to the botanical gardens, which you can watch that video next in the playlist. What's going on in the holidays here in Pinellas County. We have Winterland and Clearwater downtown as also incredible. We have the John's Pass boat parade where 100 boats decorated for Christmas. They go and do a parade in the water in the intercoastal areas. It's just beautiful as well. So this is just a speck of it. But I have been meaning, and sorry if I get too busy with clients and helping people acquire their Airbnbs, but I have been meaning to come here and spill all of this information back to you. How can I explain this to you? When I work with a single client, I look at 10 properties. I've run numbers on those 10 properties. I have done this for, plus 20 people in just the last year alone. So you can already imagine how many properties I've gone look at. I've done the numbers and I've done the due diligence. So when it comes to, sometimes I can just tell you, yes, this is the one, tell you, no, this is not. And what actually takes more time is getting you to understand the reasoning behind it. So whether or not you end up working with Lewis, it's important that you check out some of the information I'm sharing here. If you're an investor, let's say that you just bought the house, you already have it, you don't need me, that's perfectly fine. Still reach out. I'll be able to help you connect with incredible professionals in our area that you will most definitely need for your business success. All right? So that's about it. If you can think about anything else, leave them in the comments below. I'll try to think about it. Do's and don'ts. Yeah, don't buy a 2-bedroom home. Don't buy a home that has less than 1,000 square foot. I also recommend make sure that you can find a home with a pool. It's nice to have a private pool. Do get a heater for that pool. Include it in your purchase. If it's something that you have to budget out, or request the seller to make sure that it's functioning and operating. That's important. What else? Don'ts. Don't buy a property where you're not allowed to Airbnb or not allowed to go short-term rental. There's a thing with the incorporated areas. You can go on my website, find everything about that information. By the way, my information and my website, everything I have there, the blog posts on Bigger Pockets podcast, you name it. I've been putting out a ton of information about this topic for the Largo Seminole area, specifically Clearwater areas and St. Petersburg areas. All right, folks, I hope you like this video. Like and subscribe. I'll leave you with a little bit more of the Largo city Largo Central Park. People enjoying their walks out here. People walking their dogs. It's been a beautiful, beautiful evening with you guys, walking around the city, talking to you about the rental properties, talking to you about what we've done on Airbnb. Let me see if I can drop any more goods here on this video before we cut it. Yeah, folks, I mean, I think the biggest part is location. You know, a lot of people think that anywhere in Florida works, and that's not true. I don't like to stay too far away from civilization. That way I can ensure that I will have some appreciation. Let me just give you this example. I actually invested in a home in Weeki Wachee, which is Spring Hills, Pasco, Hernando County, which is probably about an hour and a half away from the Largo area, Clearwater area, going north. And guess what? I actually bought that house in 2020 and I sold it in 2022. I think I got $30,000 worth of appreciation in that house. Those areas are up and coming, and they don't grow as much as areas like Tampa Bay, Tampa City, or Pinellas County will grow, you know. So obviously COVID times, it was insane. We had almost 30% growth. But right now, at least for the last 12 months, we've had a 10% growth in single family homes and a 5% growth in condominiums. One of the reasons why I like single families over condos. To me, cash flow is a cherry on top. For some people, appreciation is a cherry on top. I like to find out, you know, 5 years down the road that my purchase going up in price 40%. That's where I'm in. That's what I like. And it opens up the doors for me to negotiate with banks, get loans out of my equity, and continue growing my investment empire. So anyways, hopefully that's pretty helpful. I'm back to the point I started at, and I'm gonna sign off. Make sure you like and subscribe. It's been wonderful seeing you tonight. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.